Good morning, everybody. How you guys doing here on this beautiful Friday morning? Little colder out there, a little windier than it was yesterday, but it is what it is. So, got a little something brief I just wanted to go over with you guys here this morning. And you guys ever have those days when you're just sitting here trying to enjoy a cup of coffee, get your morning stories, kind of get your day started before you have to go out there and kick the day's ass, And it's how I always like to start my day. Well, every now and again, I get caught up in a story that is so incredibly stupid, so incredibly mind blowing. It just kind of it's a WTF moment, and it's too damn early for this. But we're gonna go through it anyway because it's 2020, and why not, right? So I want to get into this here. So as we all know, the number of COVID cases is jumping through the roof right about this time, at least according to the mainstream media and every newspaper publication and everything else that you're reading out there. Now, one of the things that I always like to pause people about is that if you take a look at the number of COVID cases and then you take a look at the number of cold and flu cases, one of them's gone up, the others have gone down. You don't find anything wrong with this, but hey, I'm not a doctor. What do I know, right? But here's the thing. As the COVID numbers have gone up, the number of the hospitalizations has gone down. Yeah, I know the media is over here telling us that hospital beds are full, but it's not in every hospital. Moreover, the number of deaths have gone down considerably. So there's all that. Now, with all this talk of COVID cases going up, you've got all these governors, local politicians, health officials, everybody wanting to lock down their states, their counties, communities. You got folks going out here telling you, don't gather with your family because it might kill everybody. Well, hell, you can go drive down to the local McDonald's or Dairy Queen and you can get wiped out by a truck. What are you going to do? Stay in? Never go outside? Well, given certain individuals, like everybody knows I have a kind of a crush on AOC. I do. I'm not going to lie. If she would only just shut the hell up, it would be she beautiful woman. Just as long as she just shuts up, it'd be anyway. But AOC's got to take it a step further. And it's amazing that there are people that would throw out propositions like this, that would throw out proposals like this. What's even more amazing is that there are individuals that are buying into this. Good morning, Kimberly. How are you today? So I want to get into this story here because I want to see, and make sure you guys throw your comments down below, because while the idea of quote unquote free money sounds really good, you got to keep in mind there's no such thing as free. And we're going to get into that, but I wanted to get into this here. So AOC was on Twitter the other night, last night or the night before, but she's saying we need to lock down. And in order to incentivize people to lock down, what we need to do is pay them to lock down. Now, just that comment alone, all sorts of questions are raised. So in the article here, Representative AOC of New York slammed congressional inaction on another coronavirus relief package, saying that paying people to stay home was vital to preventing the spread. To get the virus under control, we need to pay people to stay home, the New York Congresswoman tweeted Thursday. Republicans are mad at this when they literally just voted to do just this in March, she added, referring to the single $1,200 stimulus payment to individuals that Congress authorized. The reason they're opposed to it now is because last time they got a Wall Street bailout, and this time all that's left is helping working people, the disabled, and the poor. Now, let's just stop right there for a second. Individuals got a $1,200 payment, and if you had children, you got an additional $500 per child. So if you're a family of four, what you ended up getting was $2,400 for the adults, another $1,000 on top of that for the two kids. Great, $3,400. The problem was the vast majority of the money in that CARES Act ended up going to places like, if I remember, the Robert Kennedy Theater, $25 million. A lot of it went to funding small businesses. And yes, there were big businesses that took advantage of it. And that bill was so incredibly loaded with pork from Democrat wish list, it was disgusting. Moreover, the so-called HEROES Act that Democrats were proposing in the House of Representatives, well, they loaded that thing up with even more Democrat wish list items, everything from mail-in voting to the elimination of voter ID to Planned Parenthood, all kinds of stuff that was not related to COVID-19. Okay, so here's the thing. If you're giving money to people, because it's the belief that, we're just going to give money to people. The question then becomes, number one, where is that money coming from? Well, for the low information voter, you can just say, well, government's going to provide that. Wrong answer. Government provides nothing. What government does is it takes. Now, I'm not a libertarian by any stretch of the imagination, but there are certain things I think they got right on point, such as, well, taxation is theft. Now, I understand there's a purpose for taxation. I understand that it does fund certain things, and it does make sense to some degree. But the amount of taxation that you would need in order to fund something like this would be so incredibly crippling for generations to come. It would be staggering. That money has to come from the people, and that has to be done through taxation. And if you guys know anything about history, once a tax has been implemented, good luck trying to get rid of that. Moreover, you have the devaluation of the dollar, because ultimately what will end up happening is the Federal Reserve, the government, the Department of the Treasury, all in one are going to be responsible for printing more money, putting more money into circulation. Now, this is bad, of course, because, again, if you understand economics like AOC supposedly should, if I recall correctly, her undergraduate degree was in economics, you would understand by flooding the market with all these additional dollars, what you'll ultimately do is decrease the buying value of the dollar, the purchasing power. Okay, so now all of a sudden you're wondering why that dollar menu over at McDonald's, all of a sudden to get that same, double hamburger is no longer $1.29. It's going to be like $5.75. Well, there you go. It's going to increase how much things cost because it'll take that many more dollars in order to get the same value for what you're trying to purchase. But we don't necessarily need this to be a lesson in economics. The other thing I think that's an issue that a lot of people don't seem to understand, and this has been an issue I have harped about for quite some time, is the idea that when we really think about this, something given has no value. Now, think about the fact that individuals that are constantly given things, you can think of a child, a young adult, and you just give them something. Well, they're not going to take very good care of it. And the reason they won't is because they didn't have to work for it. It was just given. So they might destroy it and then they'll come back and ask you again to replace it. Why? Because they just think it's magically going to appear, that you can do it. You did it one time, you can do it again. You did it twice, you can do it again. You did it 3 times, you can do it again. So it becomes more of a perpetuating cycle of individuals that have no value in what it is that they have. And I think probably worse out of all of this is that when you take a look, if you were to lock down the entire country, pay people to stay home, what would ultimately end up happening is they would take that money and what would they do? Well, obviously you want to pay for rent, you want to pay your bills, but you're going to go grocery shopping. Where are you going to go grocery shopping? Because if this lockdown happens, like what they're talking about, it's not going to go grocery shopping to the local corner market. You're not going to the local bodega. You're not going to the mom and pop store down the road. You're going to be going to the Walmarts, the Costco's, the Pick and Saves, the Amazons. It's going to be a huge and disturbing transfer of wealth because while you're going to be forbidden from shopping at the small business retailers, you will be encouraged to shop at the mega retailers, the Walmarts, the Amazons of the world. And those people will continue to make more and more money. Now, I'm not generally one to begrudge somebody for making money, but the fact of the matter is that when big businesses like this can continue to make record-breaking profits, but yet small independent businesses aren't even allowed to have their own livelihood, there are larger problems at play here. Let's jump back over here. But I just wanted to kind of get into this a little bit tonight, or this morning, actually, I should say, as I try to enjoy my coffee, you know. But I'm sure I'll put some content out here later on tonight. We'll have some more stuff. So, guys, do me a favor. Please make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. If you see this on YouTube, hit that notification bell, all that other stuff. Thank you guys for joining in. I got to go out and pretend to work. So, as the coffee mug tells you here, go beyond and kick today's ass. I'll see y'all tonight. Take care.